Assassin's Creed is no stranger to controversy. In the past, we've had such scandals like the outrageous microtransactions and the underplaying of its female characters in the marketing. However, nothing could have prepared us for what has happened with Assassin's Creed Shadows. A week and a bit ago, Ubisoft revealed Assassin's Creed Shadows officially to the world. Despite there being some leaks and rumours ahead of time that the main character would be a black African samurai named Yasuke, the internet still exploded upon this reveal. Now, for anybody who watched my reaction to this reveal, it was pretty minimal. I had no problems with this. I never even thought that this would be an issue, because Ubisoft explained that this character was based on a real-life person that existed named Yasuke, who really did exist. The topic of doing a game that is set in Japan with a black protagonist is obviously one that is going to spark some questions. Why are they deciding to do this? Why didn't they go with an Asian lead, or where they already did? I sit on the side of not caring about the character's race. They may tell an incredible story that explains the whole thing, and there is plenty of historical lineage to back this up. There's plenty of documentation of who this guy was, but there are gaps to be filled, and that's where Ubisoft have really lent into the idea that we could take a character who was a real-life person and fill in the gaps. And that is obviously where the second controversy comes in, because not only have we got a black samurai, as has been the case in a few Assassin's Creed games now, you are allowed to romance a male or a female. There are basically like LGBTQ+ options in the game, which is fine when you're creating your own character, but when you're changing somebody else who is an existing real person and saying, oh, you can make that person queer if you want, they're towing the line, and they're really not helping themselves here, because I was fully on board with their explanation for the black samurai. That's fine, I have no issues with that. When they then say that they're going to change a real-life person's sexuality, I don't doubt that the research team at Ubisoft have done extensive work looking into this character. I trust that Ubisoft would not mess up something as severe and delicate as introducing us to Yasuke. I need to wait and see. I'm holding my breath here because I was fully ready to commit. I actually recorded a full video just talking about the Black Samurai controversy, but since then they announced that Yasuke could be a queer character, and that possibly blurs the line a little bit on what they should be allowed to do, and I think that's an interesting conversation to have, but it's not one that I think's being had very sensibly, and that's what takes me across to the reaction to this, because controversy is controversy. I understand people need to get views on YouTube, they need to make some kind of conversation out of the game, be it positive or negative. A lot of the positive sides of this trailer have, I think, gone to the wayside. Assassin's Creed is up 25% as a franchise in terms of player base since the game was announced, so Assassin's Creed is potentially more popular than it ever was. And there is definite interest in this game. I mean, we have the promise of a new engine, a brand new setting that has been yearned for by fans for so long. This is almost like a perfect storm of bringing Assassin's Creed back to what people wanted it to be. We've got a female character now here that is getting no talk whatsoever because it's all about what can be the most controversial article or video that we can post. But there are channels that have millions of subscribers that are making incredibly drastic jumps in logic on what they say about this character. Things like this are disgusting to see, and I think we've gone way too far with the way that we criticise media in general, let alone this game. If you're going to hate on the game, I would much rather people hate on the outrageous pricing of the game. I mean, there's no doubting, people are angry. The Assassin's Creed Shadows reveal trailer is the most disliked trailer in the history of the franchise, which is a little bit scary for people that, are going to play this game and people who enjoy the game. But, I think negativity spreads a lot faster than positivity, and we don't know the full picture. Have Ubisoft chosen Yasuke because of, they had a checkbox that they needed to tick? They needed to put a black character, to have a mass appeal. I don't think that's the case at all, but I don't know. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Was this a checklist that people had to fulfill in order to maximize profits? That is the argument that people are making. They couldn't have just chosen a Japanese male and female. They had to switch up the diversity as much as they could and put someone else in. I don't agree with this argument. But that is the argument that's being made on one side, and on the other side, it's people who go, look, there's still an Asian character, this is a real person who existed. They didn't just make up that, oh, there must have been an African. There was an African guy. And people are saying, oh, they haven't done their research, they haven't looked into the character, because they've made him a samurai, and he was never a samurai. Well, the truth is, the documentation of this guy was so limited that that's why Ubisoft chose him. They're not hiding the fact that they don't know much about the character because they're doing it on purpose. They've outwardly said they chose Yasuke because there is so little information about this enigmatic man that they wanted to fill in the gaps and do their own thing. And look, we know that Ubisoft's tackling of historical accuracy has wavered somewhat in the recent games, but the one thing they always stick to is the characters. I've been saying this for ages, Ubisoft's biggest strength is character, and when I saw that reveal trailer, I could see that's what they were leaning into. They want to tell this story. I think there's two outcomes to this drama that's going on. Number one is that the game comes out, the character has been respected and done justice, and people go, maybe we shouldn't have judged it so, close just because of, it's a stark difference. I understand the importance of not seeing a Japanese man on the front of a game set in Japan. Like, I get that. That's something that a lot of people would have expected, and because it's such a change from the norm, people lash out and they get angry and they don't understand. We fear what we don't understand, and it's turned into maybe not fear but hate. People don't like the fact that they have not seen something that they were expecting. It's like the Timeless Child from Doctor Who. But we're not getting into that. Doctor Who's been through enough. The good ending is that people realise that Ubisoft do a great job and everyone loves it. There is, however, of course, a bad ending. What happens if the game comes out and they have made decisions that offend the real life person? I have done my fair amount of mockery towards Charles Lee in Assassin's Creed 3, and that's all coming from a place of, that character in that game is cartoonishly evil. The real life counterpart, there are a lot of overlaps, don't get me wrong. A lot of the events of Assassin's Creed 3 do line up with Charles Lee's appearance. He was in the Battle of Monmouth, he did return to North America later in life, he was discharged from the military because he had no confidence in Washington, which lines up with what happened in Assassin's Creed 3. Do we know if he was a massive racist that strangled children? No, we don't. And, obviously Ubisoft filled in that gap and made him out to be maybe worse than he was, although I've gathered the real-life Charles Lee was in fact quite a nasty man. If they do anything like that to Yasuke, the internet is going to explode. But look, I'm open to conversation, I want to know your guys' thoughts. This is a safe space, I am not particularly on one side or another. I am leaning towards the leniency. I am hoping that Ubisoft deliver a good game and that the character is done justice. All I care about is a good story and a good characterization. I'm not bothered about the political side of things. I don't like the woke word because I think it's very regressive from where we're at as a culture at the minute. I'm open to a mature, respectful conversation, which I trust that my audience will be able to have, because you guys are good. I don't want to rag on about this in every single video, that's why I'm making this dedicated video to talk about the controversy, because Ubisoft Forward is coming up soon, and when it does, I'm going to be talking about the game, believe it or not. I want to see the gameplay, I want to see the story, I want to talk about what we're going to be getting, because that's going to play a massive part in how we justify that terrible price tag they've put on the game. And me and another YouTuber, 41st Reclaimer, are doing a preview event before Ubisoft Forward on June 10th. We're going to be talking about the game, predictions, news, what do we know so far, and we're going to be doing a full sort of breakdown for the major releases like Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed. So do look forward to that. We're going to be working on that very shortly because Ubisoft Forward is coming up soon. And in terms of Assassin's Creed, that is always the most pivotal moment in the development cycle. That said, I do really want to thank you all for watching this video. I understand that there is a lot of talk about this topic at the moment, so mine may particularly just be one voice in thousands of others, but I am a fan of these games, my channel is dedicated to these games, and I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't at least mention it. Thank you all for watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.